Sachido Obidiegwu calls for implementation of Disability Act of Nigeria 2018 to protect people living with disabilities. Anambra diaspora community taxed on sacrifices to make full development of Anambra State. EU invests 45.5 million euros for access to quality education in Nigeria. Europe heat wave continues as temperature peaks at 46 centigrade. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of co-Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And now the details of the news. I am Friska Wampo. Managing Director, Anambra Broadcasting Service, Sachido Obidiegwu, has called on government to implement the Disability Act of Nigeria 2018 in order to protect the rights of persons living with disabilities. Sachido made the call at the Mandela Washington Fellowship Alumni Association of Nigeria MEFAN Summit held at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, which attracted people living with disabilities, students, experts, professionals, and role models in different life endeavors. Queen Anibogo completes the story.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship is a flagship program of the United States government's Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, which has brought over 5,000 young leaders from countries in sub-Saharan Africa to US for academic and leadership training. In his paper presentation titled Persons Living with Disabilities Beating All Odds in a Challenging Society, the MD of ABS, Sachido, pointed out how countries like the US and many countries in Europe follow their disability laws religiously, which is a far cry from what is obtainable in Nigeria, where people living with disabilities are facing lack of inclusion in almost every sphere of the society. He mentioned the challenges people living with disabilities are facing in Nigerian society, the people culpable, and stressed the need for government to enforce disability laws that are already in existence, pointing out these laws are useless if not enforced. He also advised people living with disabilities to shun self-pity, turn their misfortune to fortune, as well as apply God factor where their human strength ends.
In the One Youth, Two Skills program that is going on, you have 5% reserved for people living with disabilities. Doesn't that show that the governor is coming to say that he loves you? Please put your hands together for Mr. Governor. We want to demand that government, as much as possible, should enforce these laws that are already extant. Like all these professional groups, all these sectoral groups I mentioned, we need to be patient. We need to be more accommodating. We need to show empathy. We need to show concern and compassion towards people living with disability. Now, to you that have this disability, it's important for you to speak to yourself. To know that disability is not a death sentence. And self-pity cannot take you anywhere.
In an interview, the coordinator of MWFAAN in Nigeria, Ms. Nkechi Udeboka, explained that this is the first time the association is having a summit in the Southeast, and it is all about inclusion to recognize especially young people living with disabilities who are not being included in many plans. While emphasizing on the need for everyone to abide by the disability laws, Ms. Udeboka urged government to also endeavor to empower the disabled, even as she advised the disabled to invest in self-development.
The summit is all about inclusion. We want to recognize young people who are beating the odds, doing a lot in the society.
The event has its theme as Beating All Odds. Queen Anibogo, ABS News.
The traditional ruler of Umuawolo in Awka South Council area of Anambra State, Igwejo Igwonwu, has reminded the Anambra living in the diaspora of the need to channel resources towards the development of their homeland. Correspondent EGK Abana reports that Igwe Igwonwu made the call in his palace while exchanging views with the press. His reports.
Was based on Governor Chukwuma Soludo's call for joint efforts towards enthroning the desired livable and prosperous Anambra. The Umawulu monarch maintained that heeding the call is for good. As such, all should contribute their own fair share. He praised the governor for doing so much within such a short period in office in the area of infrastructure and economic empowerment, with particular reference to the Amansi Ebenebe Obofemili Okpuno Iso Anocha Road, Oketiti Igboukwu Ekulobia Road, the Ekulobia Flyover, Palm and Coconut Revolution, among others. He said that the ongoing Ekulobia Flyover will be a major game changer when completed because the area is usually a nightmare during festive seasons due to traffic hold-up, stressing that Governor Soludo has the political will to execute such laudable projects. Igwe Egwonwu, who compared the level of insecurity before the inception of Governor Soludo and the appreciable progress his administration has made, pointed out that without security there will be no peace or development, while stressing that positive criticism is imperative for meaningful development. Igwe Egwonwu called on the governor not to heed negative criticism, while saying that traditional institutions has always been part and parcel of governance in Anambra. Igwe Egwonwu canvassed for more empowerment for the traditional rulers as custodians of the grassroots government, assuring of continued support for the governor in tackling insecurity.
Anambra State Internal Revenue Service, ARRS, has arrested 7 suspected illegal revenue collectors and sealed off parks in Onitsha and environs for non-payment of taxes to the state governments. The executive director in charge of operations and other revenues in ARRS, Dr. Christian Madabuko, made the arrest while visiting parks that refused to pay their taxes into government coffers. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzo Okoye has the details.
The suspects arrested include Mr. Anthony Eze from Enugu State, aged 20, Mr. Chigozie Eze, who hails from Imo State, aged 22, Mr. Michael Odo from Enugu State, aged 22, and Mr. Uche Awokere from Ebonyi State, aged 34. While Chigozie Eze was caught with 4,400 naira collected from transporters, others claim that they work for one man or another who they account to. Speaking to journalists, Dr. Madbuko said that sealing off the facilities was the only way to make those involved perform their civic responsibilities, and noted that those arrested are those who harass traders and transporters and steal from them. Dr. Madbuko stated that the state government will not tolerate such illegal acts anymore and will mete out stiff punishment on those who steal from government. He reiterated the state government's resolve to wipe out criminality in the state, charging Nde Anambra to pay their tax through the right channels.
So we will no longer condone things like that. We will ensure that if you are caught, you will dance the music. We will prefer a stiff punishment to people who steal government revenue. Gradually, we will get there. We will be consistent. And I can assure you we will be there.
Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
The state chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Chivifatu Biokoye, has applauded the immediate past national chairman of the party, Dr. Victor Oye, for recording spectacular performance in office. Political correspondent Chukwemeka Modern reports that Chief Biokoye gave the commendation in Oka while felicitating with Dr. Oye on his 67th birthday anniversary celebration. The state APGA chairman described the immediate national chairman of the party, Dr. Oye, as a quintessential leader who proved what strong and focused leadership was all about at a critical time in the history of APGA. Chief Biokoye also acknowledged the noble contributions of Dr. Oye to the growth and sustainable development of APGA, despite unbridled distractions from elements of negativism who plotted to hijack the leadership of the great party. He maintained that Dr. Oye played a critical role to the position APGA enjoys today as one of the biggest political parties in Nigeria, and prayed God to continue to sustain and strengthen him with good health to continue his service to humanity. 17 indigenous students drawn from various institutions of higher learning across the state have been awarded scholarships by Dr. Chioma Ewuzie Foundation. The event, which was held at Federal Polytechnic Oko Auditorium, also featured the 50th birthday anniversary of the benefactor, Dr. Mrs. Chioma Awuzie, and distribution of gift items to the students, while free medical outreach to people and distribution of wrappers to widows at the SS John and Paul Iba Pope Awada from the climax of the empowerment program by the foundation. Staff reporter Emengini Osadebe was at the event and filed in this report.
Dr. Chioma Awuzie Foundation, Touching Lives Positively, is a non-governmental organization aimed at alleviating the plight of the downtrodden in the society. In his opening remarks, the chairman on the occasion, Professor Moses Nkemchido, commended the benefactor for recognizing the pains and sufferings of the indigent, as there are a lot of affluents in the society who could not share what they have with others, challenging the beneficiaries to always remember where they
celebrate with one of our own, in the person of Dr. Chioma Awuzie, somebody who thought that it is not just good to eat alone. Somebody who thought that the greatest investment one can make in life is in the development of the human capacity. Somebody who feels the pains of the indigent students. Somebody who recognizes what the poor is going through. Somebody who understands what the widows are going through. Somebody who equally knows the pains of the sick. You see, it is not just easy for one to be able to rise up to a point where he or she can touch lives.
In her welcome address, the celebrant and benefactor, Dr. Mrs. Chioma Awuzie, said her foundation was born out of deep-rooted compassion and personal commitment to human security, saying that she started caring for people in need, irrespective of their local government or state of origin, with her meager earnings, emulating various acts of charity embarked upon by the foundation.
May I congratulate all the recipients of this year's Dr. Chioma Awuzie Foundation Scholarship Award and encourage them to use their funds judiciously.
In their remarks, heads of various institutions at the event, which include Rector Federal Polytechnic Oko, Dr. Mrs. Francisca Mwafulugu, represented by the Deputy Rector, Dr. Ken Ezekwe, the Vice Chancellor, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Charles Esimone, represented by Professor Eunice Ibekwe, and the Provost, Nwafo Orizu College of Education in Nsugbe, Dr. Mrs. Ifeyinwa Osebo, represented by Mr. Tochukwu Anekwe, eulogized Dr. Mrs. Chioma Awuzie for impacting the lives of the indigent, describing the feat as a great sacrifice that will add value to human lives, urging the affluent in the society to eschew self-centeredness and use their wealth to add value to the lives of others, while challenging the beneficiaries to reciprocate the gesture by studying hard to become useful in the society. Speaking later to the ABS in an interview, the husband of the benefactor, Mr. Fidelis Awuzie, described his wife as the Dorcas of the present generation, expressing joy at the excess show of love to the less privileged and called on other affluents to emulate her gesture.
So ndị amara ma were na ọnwa ama unu na eburu rugolu na ọlụ okpukpe charity anyị mere taa bụ charity bụ ngosipụta love. Inwe nke mmadụ love nwebeghị ime ọ ime charity. The essence of love is charity. Charity na love na apụta.
Some of the scholarship beneficiaries, Ms. Awele Okocha and Master Emmanuel Obidiaso, expressed gratitude to their benefactor for finding them worthy to be part of the scheme and promised to live above board. Some of the beneficiaries of the free medical outreach, Mrs. Grace Carlo, Mrs. Nonye Uzezie, and Mr. Ebele Jidofo, expressed joy and gratitude to God and saying to Dr. Mrs. Awuzie for the free medical outreach, which they described as well organized without partiality, and prayed God to bless her abundantly. From Federal Polytechnic Oko and Iba Pope Awada, Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
European Union (EU) says its support for education in Nigeria aligns with national objectives and focuses on equitable access to quality education and teacher training aimed at strengthening the education system, increase the use of digital technology for teaching, learning and system management by investing 45.4 million euros in the education project of 2021 to 2027. The head of the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ms. Samuela Isopi, stated this while announcing the offer of postgraduate scholarships to young Nigerians in top European universities under its flagship educational program, Erasmus Plus program. Princess Ekwe Ajide has more on this.
Erasmus Plus is the European Union's flagship program for education, training, youth and sports for 2021 to 2027. It offers a range of opportunities for higher education students, staff and institutions from around the world, both for individuals and for organizations. Announcing the scholarship at the press briefing in Abuja, Mrs. Sopi said the figure places Nigeria on the #1 spot among beneficiaries of the EU postgraduate scholarships in Africa in the past 5 years and among the top 5 globally. According to her, the students were selected from over 15,000 applications through a very competitive selection procedure coordinated by the participating consortium of universities. The postgraduate programs will run for 12 to 24 months and will see each beneficiary studying in at least 3 different universities in many countries during the duration of the program. She further announced that the EU delegation to Nigeria will, in October this year, host a Study in Europe fair in Lagos and Kano to enable prospective Nigerian students explore the opportunities of higher education in Europe and also serve as a platform to matchmake Nigerian higher education institutions with potential EU partners in collaboration with the diplomatic missions of the EU member states in the country. The EU ambassador noted that the 109 Nigerian awardees are in the initial batch of beneficiaries as announced by the organizers of the program in Brussels, and the number is likely to increase.
This is really for us also a way to develop people-to-people contacts, and that's why we strongly believe that this is not only a way to contribute to Nigerian capacities, but also to foster those relations that will be beneficial for both countries.
In Abuja, Princess Ekwe Ajide reporting.
A heat wave is continuing across southern Europe, with temperatures in the central Mediterranean expected to peak yesterday. The Italian island of Sardinia is expected to see a high of 46 centigrade yesterday. There are warnings that extreme heat could continue for 4 to 10 days in part of Italy. Spain has also faced consecutive heat waves with the temperatures reaching 44 degrees centigrade in the south of the country. More than 100 firefighters are trying to bring Swiss forest fires under control. The World Meteorological Society says extreme weather patterns highlight the need for more climate action. German Bundesliga side Bayern Munich have increased their asking price for Senegalese forward Sadio Mane due to the Saudis' interest in the forward. The 31-year-old Africa Cup of Nations winner could be on the move from the German side. Mane joined the Bundesliga champions from Liverpool a year ago. Reports say that the Bundesliga champions were prepared to let a Senegal international depart for just 17 million euros. Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS in many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. Follow us at Edinburgh Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. On Twitter, follow at ABS Radio TV. And on Instagram, you can also follow at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. ABS MD Sachido has called for implementation of Disability Act of Nigeria 2018 to protect people living with disabilities. Anambra diaspora community has been taxed on sacrifices to make for development of Anambra State. EU has invested 45.5 million euros for access to quality education in Nigeria. Europe heat wave has continued as temperature peaks at 46 centigrade. Here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that is it on the news at 7 right here on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. I am Friska Wanko. Good morning and have a wonderful day ahead.